Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is December 27th. This is our last paycheck in December. My husband did get paid today, and we will also be closing out the budget for the month of December. And then I will also review my budget for January, as I already have that planned out. So let's go ahead and look over at our weekly income. So from last week, we did roll over $63. My husband did get paid, and so we have $16.63 to work with for the week. All of our bills have been paid in December, so there's nothing that needs to be paid for this week. Since it is my husband's paycheck, he is getting his usual spending money of $400. And then we are finishing with our mortgage payment for January. Last week we were able to save $500 for the mortgage payment, and then we'll be finishing the rest of $1,080 for a total of $1,580 for the month, and that's gonna sit until the payment is paid on the 1st. So looking down at our summary, our total income minus our bills, minus our expenses, minus our savings, we do have $183 left over. And since this is the last paycheck of the month, that is what we are left with. So another month in the green. Looking at a monthly view, our last paycheck in December is $183 left over. And after we look at the total month of December, 183 is what we should have left over. So everything matched up. Our total, what I was expecting in the month of December, when I first planned out the budget, I was expecting a total income of $72.99. We made a little bit more at $73.39. All of our bills, after they've been paid, I was expecting to pay $25.94. They were less at $25.71. All of our variable expenses, which were groceries, household items, gas, spending money for me, and spending money for my husband, all checked out. So I was expecting to pay $2,500, and I did allocate that same amount for us. And then our savings, they matched up. I wanted to save $20.85, and that is exactly what we saved. So looking at our total summary, our income minus our bills, minus our expenses, minus our savings, $183 is what we have left over, compared to the $120 I originally saved, had for us in case of a buffer. So the month of December is finished. And I know I said we have a green month, meaning we stayed within budget. However, we kind of didn't, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. So I'm going to put my iPad over to the side really quick, and I'm going to bring out my binder. So Christmas came and went, and we had a budget for Christmas. Well, a game plan, I guess. I saved throughout the year a total of $1,000, which technically came out to $1,050. And after all of our Christmas spending, considering there was a couple of things that we did different this year, we did a Christmas angel. I've never done one in the past, but you pick a child that you want to buy gifts for, and then you buy them. So that was also something that I had never done before. So we had that, and then originally I had a plan on who I was going to buy gifts for and how much I was going to spend, and it was mainly for our nieces and nephews. We have a ton of nieces and nephews, but I also decided to buy gifts for other people who have been helpful to us throughout the year. I have a huge family, and I have a lot of support from my family, so I just thought it was nice to give a gift to those that have helped us tremendously throughout the year, just as a token of our appreciation. So I did go over budget. However, this is the first year that I've ever saved money for Christmas. I've never saved money before in the past. I've just been either using my credit card or paying as I was going, and I never had like a set amount for this. So I'm extremely grateful that I had at least $1,050 set aside specifically for gifts, because the damage isn't as bad as it usually is. So with that being said, I actually went over on my budget by $814. Yeah, so total for Christmas, after I had $1,050, and I spent an extra $814. So I total out of pocket, we spent $1,864 on Christmas, and 814 of that I have to figure out how to pay it back, because I put it on my credit card. So now time has come to pay it back. So I have a couple things in mind for this situation. Since this is the last week of December, there's just a couple of days left in the month. My family budgets, I think, are good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the money that's in here to help pay for Christmas. So looking at our grocery budget, we have $143 left over for the month. I've planned out all of my meals for the rest of this week. I'm off work, so I'm not working. So I'm home at home with the kids, so I can, what I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next few days, I've planned all of that out, so I know exactly what I'm making, and I have everything already to make it. So I don't anticipate any other grocery trips to come. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna save the $43 and put it to the side, and I'm gonna roll over $100 to next month to help out with our January budget. And just in case something does come up between now and January 1st, I have that money to buy extra groceries. In our household budget, I do have $10 left over. I'm gonna save all of that and zero out this budget. I don't need anything for the house. I am good to go. Whatever I do have will get us through the rest of the month, and then our budget will restart on January 1st. Transportation or gas, we have quite a bit of money left at $209, but our cars do need gas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually keep $80, 20, 40, 60. I'm gonna keep $80 in here to give us one last fill before the end of the month, and I'm gonna take the rest, which is $129 out, and I'm gonna use that to apply towards our Christmas. So I know originally, if you watched a previous video, I had other plans for this money if we had any extra, but because I overspent on the credit cards, the goal now is to make sure I pay that off before the credit card is due. And technically, oops, let me put this away. And technically that isn't due until January 23rd, 20th, one of those days. So I gotta figure it out before then. So with the money that I didn't spend in my family budget, I am going to apply it to our Christmas spending. And let's see what we have here total. Also, I cut my fingers cutting onions for dinner, and now I have 2 band-aids, but I literally almost cut my fingers off. But anyways, I have $100, 20, 40, 60, 5, 10, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have $182 left over in our family budgets. And that is because we just didn't spend everything throughout the month on those 3 categories. So $182 we're gonna put towards Christmas. So we're gonna add $182, which the difference now is I owe $632. So just that one budget, or our family budgets, helped reduce the overall price of Christmas by $182. And I have to come up with $632 by January 23rd. Whoops. So now I am technically in credit card debt because I don't have that money yet. So I'm gonna put this money in my wallet, and this is the money that I have to send back to the bank. It's pretty full because I haven't gone to the bank. I've been off of work for a few days now, and so I haven't really gone anywhere or gone outside, and it was Christmas, so I didn't go to the bank. So yes, $632. We have to figure out a way to pay that back. Hi guys, so just real quick, I'm going to stop the video right there because this is me the next day. As I'm editing the video, I forgot to put in the video that for Christmas I actually owe less than anticipated. So in the video it's gonna say that I owe $632, but I forgot to mention that I will be using also the rollover money that I had for the month of December to pay towards Christmas. So I'm gonna just mark it as rollover money. 183. So 632 minus 183. I actually owe $449 for Christmas. I knew it was a lot less than that, and I was trying to figure out where I went wrong, but I just realized after rewatching the video, I forgot to add that the rollover money for December is applied to Christmas. So what you see in the rest of the video may not add up because I forgot to add that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, and then now you can continue watching the rest of the video. But not only that, to bring out my travel binder. Sorry if I keep hitting the camera thing. I decided last minute that I wanted to go back to New York for New Year's Eve again. And my husband agreed. And my husband's so good. He just always agrees with my crazy plans. And we always figure out a way to pay it back. So we are going to New York come Sunday. We're leaving on the 31st. We did the same thing we did last year. And yeah, this is a trip that I did not plan for. I did not budget for. So let's take a look. In our hotel, this time we are going with friends, so we are actually reducing our hotel price because we are sharing the room with another couple, so going 50-50. Our portion of the hotel was $460. My friend did book the hotel, so I did send her $460 to cover our half from my savings account. When it comes to me and my finances, how I think about my money is if it goes into my savings account, I can no longer spend the money. It's like a bill. If it's out of my checking account, that means it's gone forever, and you can't have the money back. But in situations like this, I made an exception and I used my money to pay for the hotel. And then for the airplane, for my husband and I, it came out to $664 round trip. I am all out of points. I just went to New York in October and I sent my family of 4, and I used all of my points, and I used all of my points for the hotel. I used all of the points that I had basically for my family trip in October. So I'm fresh out of points at the moment. So I did have to pay cash for this flight. $664 is what I put on my card to pay for it. I do have a companion pass that will be expiring soon, so I wanted to take advantage of it one last time. So my husband flies for free, just has to pay taxes, and I just had to pay for my flight. So for both of us to get to New York round trip, $664 divided by 2, 664 divided by 2 is technically only $332 each, which I think is great, but it's not that great when you don't have any money to budget for the trip. So since I did put this charge on my credit card, I didn't use my savings to pay for it, so I'm gonna try and figure out how we can get this paid for before the credit card payment is due. Those are the only 2 expenses that we have so far, considering that I don't know what I'm gonna spend while I'm out there. I don't know yet exactly what we're gonna do. I have to figure out all of that. So when I come back, I will see basically what damage I have done and then try and figure out a way to pay it back. So yeah, but I promise this is gonna probably be my last crazy spontaneous trip because I really need to focus and not do this to myself anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out my iPad again, and then now I'm going to review January. So I've already created a budget for January. This is roughly what I think is gonna happen, and I gotta plan to start. So in red, there's 2 things in red that are unbudgeted for. One is my escrow payment, and one is Christmas, everything that I owe. It's due December 23rd. My escrow, if you are a homeowner, you may understand this situation. So an escrow account is like a savings account for your mortgage. So every single month, a portion of your mortgage payment goes into an escrow account. And that escrow account holds money to make sure that your property taxes are paid and your homeowner's insurance are paid. And if you have things like private mortgage insurance, that is also paid out of that escrow account. So every single month, out of my $1,580 mortgage payment, a portion of that money goes into an escrow to pay those things. However, every year your escrow account is analyzed, and sometimes you're short, sometimes you're over. If you're over, sometimes the mortgage company will send you a check for the overage, or your monthly mortgage payment will decrease. But when you're short, you either have to make a payment towards that escrow account, or they will increase your mortgage payment by that amount. So $272 divided into 12 months is about $22.66. So if I don't pay this escrow shortage before February, my regular monthly mortgage payment is going to go up to $22.66 to make up this difference. I usually just like to pay the escrow shortage just so that I can keep my monthly mortgage payment down and I don't have to worry about it increasing too much. But either way, I looked at my escrow statement, and even if I do pay this in full, my mortgage payment is still going up by $15 because I'm assuming property taxes have just gone up so much that I do have to put more into that account every single month. So regardless if I like it or not, my payment is going to go up by $15 no matter what. But if I don't pay this, it'll go up an additional $22.66. So a total of $37.66. My payment will increase starting February. So I'm just going to make sure that I pay this and just get that over with. And then for Christmas, it is left blank because depending on what I have left over, and I'll do the math here in a second, I'm going to apply everything to the Christmas fund since that is a priority. So looking at our income, and I'm going to try and be as thorough as possible with this budget just so that if you guys have questions, maybe this will help clarify. And if you're making a budget for the very first time, maybe this will be a guide for you to build your own. So the first thing you have to know is how much money you bring in on a monthly basis. Are you paid weekly? Are you paid bi-weekly? Are you paid monthly? Are you paid twice a month or twice a week? Yeah, twice a month. So just depending on how much you have to know roughly how much each paycheck is. So for me, I am in a dual income household, meaning my husband and I both work. We both get paid bi-weekly. So January for me is actually a 3-week pay period. So instead of 2 paychecks, I'm getting 3 because we get paid bi-weekly, and there's 5 Wednesdays in January, and I get paid on Wednesdays. So I am paid this year, or this month, on the 3rd, the 17th, and the 31st. And between all 3 of my paychecks, this is what I think I'm going to bring home in total. I also have a monthly payment that I receive for $169 that I get on the 5th. And then my husband gets paid on the 10th and the 24th. And this is how much I think he's going to bring in. So we have a total monthly income of $9,229 to work with for the month of January. So with this $9,229, I have to make sure all of my bills are paid, all of my expenses are covered, and all of my savings goals are met. Okay? So now in our bills category, this is everything listed in my this is everything that's listed that has an actual due date. So by a specific date, sorry, my brother was calling me. So by a specific due date, I have to make sure that all of these are paid. They have a deadline. I have to make sure those are paid by that date. I list all of the amounts here, and then I add up the total. And then over in my variable expenses are things that do not have a due date. And these are some of the categories that I stuff with cash. I do this because, for example, the month of January, I'm giving myself $400 in groceries, $100 in household, and $350 in gas. I take that money out of my checking account and put them into my envelopes so that I know that money is out of my checking account and I cannot spend it on anything else. Those funds are allocated specifically for groceries, household, and gas. If I were to leave it in my checking account, there could be the possibility that I would spend that money on something else, and that's not a risk that I'm willing to take. That's why I take the money out in cash to help keep me organized, and I know what money is being spent on what. And then my husband and I, whenever we get paid, we both get $400 each to spend on anything that we want extra outside of these categories. So my spending money should never pay for groceries, household items, or gas for our cars, and neither should his. But because I do get paid 3 times, I'm gonna get 400 times 3, which is $1,200. My husband's gonna get paid twice, so he gets $800. So our total variable expenses are gonna be $28.50. And then down here, we have some savings that we have. We are saving for February's mortgage payment because January is already paid with December's. And then we're gonna be saving $100 to emergency, $29 for our life insurance premium, pest control, Costco, and car maintenance. Liz's savings is gonna get $15.30. And why I'm getting $15.30 is because, again, I have 3 paychecks in the month of January. I'm expecting that third paycheck to be $19.30. Of that $19.30, $400 is gonna go to me to spend. And then I have $15.30 left over that I'm gonna be savings. Most likely I will be using that money to help pay for this New York trip that I'm going on. But every single cent is accounted for, so I know what I'm doing. Since I do get 3 paychecks and I normally get 2, that last paycheck is not going to be used for anything else because I'm only relying on my other 2 paychecks to help pay for all of our expenses. I hope that makes sense. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to figure out this number right here to see how much money I'm gonna have left over to spend and apply towards our Christmas debt. So all of my variable expenses are added, all of my savings are added, all of my income is added. So now I have to figure out what this amount is. So doing some math, we have 9,229 minus 2,850 in variable spending and 3,315 in savings. We do have $3,064 left over, and I have to figure out how much all of these bills are. What's left over will go towards Christmas. So what I'm gonna do with the 3064, and I'm just gonna write that amount here because regardless of what I have left over for Christmas, it's gonna equal 3064. Whoops, I just dropped my pen. So now let's figure out how much that was. So 3064 minus all of our bills that we have to pay, 272. We have $285. So that is the missing number for our total of 3064. So after during the month of January, we should have $285 at minimum to apply to our Christmas debt, which is $632. We should have $285, so we'd have to still pay an additional $347. Somehow, some way in January to make sure our credit card is paid in full to pay off our Christmas debt. So that might come from my savings probably. My husband did work some extra shifts on Christmas at his job, so I know he has a bigger paycheck that's coming to help, but we still are short. So this is what my January budget is looking like, and this is gonna equal $0. So my total income minus my bills minus my variable spending minus my savings is $0. So for the month of January, we are looking at a zero-based budget. Every single dollar that I'm expecting to come in has a job, and I have a plan on what to do with every single one of those dollars. Should my income increase, which it might, it's a new year, so there could be a lot of different factors that play into why my income is more, or it could be less. My insurance could be different because it resets. I made some changes to my HSA contribution, so that could change. I don't know what my January paycheck is going to look like yet, but I'm just going based off of what I normally get this year. So if this is your first time doing a monthly budget and you don't know what your numbers look like, that's the first step that you have to do. You have to know how much you get paid. You have to have some idea how much do you bring in on a monthly basis. What bills do you have? And I mean every single bill. Do not skip out on subscriptions. Do not skip out on anything. Whatever comes out of your account or your credit card needs to be written here because it is part of your expenses. And then if this is your first time tracking your spending, it might be an eye-opener for you. If you're spending over $1,000 on groceries, but your food is going bad and you're just throwing groceries away every single week, you're being wasteful and you're eating your budget. So figure out how much you actually need. Go grocery shopping on a weekly basis versus a monthly basis. Don't shop your pantry before you go shopping because you might be buying double of something that you didn't really need to buy. Be tedious when it comes to that. Same thing with household items, same thing with gas. Gas is finally going down. So what you were spending on gas 2 months ago is a lot less than what you're spending right now. So where is that difference? Where is that money? And for savings, what is your savings goal for this year? Is your savings goal to save $1,000? How much do you have to put away each paycheck to accumulate $1,000 by the end of the year? Put that into your budget so that money comes out like a bill. The more money you leave in your checking account, the more likely you are going to spend that money on random things. Give yourself a limit. We give ourselves $400 on a 2-week basis. So I got paid last week. I got $400 to keep and spend on whatever I want. That includes eating out. That includes getting my nails done. That includes getting my eyebrows done. That includes shopping for new clothes, shoes. That includes all of that. $400 every single paycheck is what is mine to spend on what I want. Having a budget isn't bad. It's just sometimes it's an eye-opener, which could be a hard reality check for some. But if you want to get ahead, if you want to learn how to save, you're tired of being in credit card debt, a monthly budget is what's going to save you and what's going to help reduce the burden. So I hope this video helped, and as always, if you guys have questions, please let me know. I'm not the best at explaining stuff, which is why I'm not a teacher. But showing you guys my own finances helps make it easier, I guess. So yes, any questions, let me know. And then of course, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you think about these videos, or let me know what goals you have for the new year. And I look forward to hearing about your financial journey. And I'm praying that I can figure out my own because, again, I did some intense shopping and I'm going on a spontaneous trip. So maybe for 2024, I will stop doing that and stick to my budgets. But life happens and I have a plan to pay it off. So God willing, I can stick to it. But yes, that's all that I have for today. And I hope you guys have a safe and happy new year. And I will see you all in 2024. Okay, bye.